Where you at?
A house? What do you mean?
Wait, I'm look. I need to go to Zoom. I'm so horrible. Where you at?
A house?
How do every time? Where is it? Where you at?
Who are you talking to?
You.
I'm I'm looking at you. I don't understand
You
what.
see me?
Yeah.
I don't see me. Hold on. Oh,
Did
okay,
you
hold
stop
on.
your video?
No, no, no. Wait. We're live on YouTube. We're here. People in the waiting room. Where's the waiting room? Admit. Admit. All right, guys. Let me send this to Rodney real quick in case he wants to jump in. Are you guys here? Where you at?
What's up, fellas?
To here.
What
Look at
up, dude?
my,
What up,
men-
Ron?
my mentor. And I'm
What up,
fucking
man?
this up.
What's up, everybody?
How
How
are
y'all
you
be in the
guys?
background?
I'm trying to send this to Rodney Perry.
I've never done a cool background. How y'all be doing the backgrounds?
Oh, the virtual
Oh,
background?
I need to put my. Oh, fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta
Uh,
find them online. I
You
wrote
gotta
the
hit
book.
that little arrow that's right next to video.
Let's see. I don't even see no arrow.
Are you on a laptop or?
No, I'm on my son's iPad.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah. I
might
don't.
not-
Uh,
you gotta be on. You gotta be on a grown-up device.
hey, you know.
It looks so easy when Tahir does it. It's hard.
Fisher
Sydney
Price
said he's
iPad.
gonna be late because his career, blah blah blah. And Joey's supposed to be in. Hi guys. Hi Ron G. How are we Tahir?
What's up, Jack? Jack?
How was our day, gentlemen? Everybody good?
We
Yeah,
good.
we good, man. I'm good.
Everybody,
Busy.
everybody wearing their merch. I see everybody got on their t-shirt.
Yeah.
Funny.
That's what I'm doing right now. These orders coming in. I'm like, getting to you.
Really? Oh my god. Okay, thank you guys for coming. I'm trying to I'm exhausted, but I'm awake for this. I wanted to make this episode about getting advice because I always have a bunch of women on here. And I'm a big believer in getting advice from people who have what you want,
Mhm.
as opposed to advice from
You want my wife? What you saying?
getting advice from people who have what I want.
I know. It was you want my wife? What do you?
Lifestyle.
Never mind. All right, cool. All right, sorry.
Everybody looking down. Look at me. No one's looking at me. Look.
I'm
Sorry.
sorry. I'm sorry.
I was
Like,
trying to boast. I'm sorry.
we in
The
detention.
work. The work.
Okay, let's just start it off. Which one of you gentlemen, if any, would say that you engaged in f-boy behavior before you settle down with your lady?
Jackie, that even a question.
Yes.
Everybody did, Jackie.
That's not a real question.
Really?
I don't think I did. I don't think I did.
Yeah, exactly. Not everybody's like y'all. You didn't, Ron. You didn't have any women just wondering if you cared about them. Nothing like that. You were
Oh, no. I didn't do that.
outstanding.
Nah, I feel like I was an honest hoe.
Nah, I was an honest hoe. Yeah, sorry.
I was an honest hoe. I'd be with a girl and she see me with another girl. I'm like, what you doing? I'm like, do you know my last name? They'd be like, no. I'm like, so why we having this conversation? Like,
Oh,
what we
you were
doing?
mean.
I wasn't mean. I was just honest. I said I
Yeah.
was an honest hoe.
Yeah.
Is that
My
mean?
feelings are already hurt.
No, lying to you to get it would be a mean. I wasn't
Right.
lying.
I know. You know what it is that I remember when me and Keon did some road gigs, and we clicked because we got it. Like we understood. Like people out there overthinking it, and we're like, well, if you want to bone everyone in the world, you can. That doesn't mean that you're a bad person. And too many women, they label the dude who's single out there getting theirs as a game player and a dog. And I'm like, I've had some arguments. I'm like, he's not a dog because he don't want you.
Can
Right.
I be the first, make the comment, the first piss people off?
Yes, please.
So I feel like women have this thing with being emotional whores.
Mm-hmm.
And so they meet a guy they like and they lock in instead of having the conversation they need to have. And you can't commit to somebody who ain't committed to you, even if you feel like y'all in a relationship. You have to have that conversation like, what are we doing? And I feel like women have all the power. You should say, hey, look, in order for me to give you these cookies, I'm gonna need a commitment in order to feel comfortable. But if that's not what you want, then I'm cool with that. But y'all will give them the cookies and then want us to manage your expectation, and that's not our job.
Because every woman, myself included, and for the rest of this hour, I'm talking about me too. We think we can change every guy. I don't
But
care
why?
what because we want to be in love and we want somebody there. We want a relationship. So
You
it
said you
don't
didn't mention the word truth one time.
no, because the truth in a woman's mind is I know that he's a dog and he has banged half of Fresno and parts of LA, but when he gets some of this, he's gonna come on for that high horse and he and I gonna make it work. Women
Let's
have
pause
this
right there.
thought.
Where does that come from, though? Where does that come
It
from?
comes from women being naturally lonely all the time, wanting someone there regardless whether or not he's a good guy or bad person. We just want somebody there. Like I want to be really honest. Like every one night stand, and I haven't had many, but I mean like when I say one night stand, I mean a fling that didn't amount to anything. Anyone that I had a fling with, I was in love with that guy.
Jesus.
Anybody who watches this, if you and I had any intimacy whatsoever,
Who
even
said
if
this was okay,
even
Jack?
if it was for a couple of hours, I've been in love with everyone. It may not have been a
Sound like
healthy
a
love.
psycho.
Huh? That's a lot of women don't want to admit that. We're all crazy
Gee.
because we want love. It's not because that we are inherently bad decision makers. We all want love.
Who
And
doesn't?
we don't have that conversation, Ron, because we're always worried that you are going to take off in a high pitched sprint if we have the
But,
conversation.
but why not
Damn
just
right.
say it and be comfortable with the results? Isn't that what truth
Right.
is?
Oh,
Because my
Ron,
only advice is, I tell
that's
my homegirls all the time, handle your heart like you handle your business. Women are bosses, CEOs, and all this stuff in the workplace, but they don't ask the right questions with their heart. Like if you're a boss and you're like about to buy a car, you don't say, "Hey, does the engine work? Do you work? Do you have the key to that?"
does the
But
engine
no,
work?
y'all give some booty and be like, ask questions after you didn't sign the contract. I'm like, no, you should ask for it. It's okay to ask questions, especially if you want what you want. Y'all have all the power and give it to
Okay.
somebody who don't even want it.
See the three of you, including Joey and Sydney, all four of you, or the five of you, it doesn't matter. All of y'all wives are dime pieces. To hear, pay attention.
I am.
All of y'all wives are dimes. All y'all married up. They're beautiful. They're unrealistic. They all look like you three are on the low rich and nobody knows it. That's how fine all of y'all wives are. You would think y'all had money. Y'all wives look so good.
Yeah, I
Hey,
ain't got no
Thank you.
Not any money.
okay. What is it about your current wife that made you go from she's cute to her body's amazing to her personality to I'm gonna date this girl with the intention of only dating her? What was it for you when you met her? I'm gonna start with Keon.
Oh,
What did it for you?
she made me laugh.
Really?
She was just fun. Like when we met, I mean, granted, off top when I met her, I was like, I'm trying to hit that, and that's as far as I thought it through. And then we talked hella much, and I was like, yo, she funny. And then she just always made me laugh, and I was like, she was easy to talk to. She was chill. We had our little things or whatever, but she was always, and she wasn't. She was like the only girl that like wasn't like bothering me.
You seem so annoyed.
Can you expand on that, Keon?
Okay, you
What does
look
that
so
mean?
annoyed at the thought. You're like, ugh.
Because
What does that
like,
mean?
Every other girl I like would deal with or whatever. I mean, even though they would understand, like, yo, I'm just coming with this dick. That's it. I'm not giving you nothing else. They would still, like you said, Jackie, they would still be like, well, I think I could change it, or I want more. She kind of was like, dick, fine, that's cool. Let's hang out, and that's cool, whatever. And then we were just chilling. And then basically what she did, though, I got hustled, I'll be honest. What she did was we were hanging out so much, but her company was dope. That's what it was. I'm very easily annoyed, and she did not annoy me. And her company was so dope, and we were hanging out so much that eventually, for lack of a better word, I ran out of hoes. Like I hung out with her so much, there was.
Oh, your other hoes are like, what happened to our time?
I was gone, and then I looked up like, oh, I think I like you. I think I'm with you. I think that's what's happening right now.
I think I'm with you.
Because I was like, look, I remember one day, like, I went to work, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna see what people are doing. And I was like, I ain't even got nobody to text. Not only I don't really want to text them. And then I was like, oh snap! I think I done slipped into some feelings, and this is weird.
Really?
But it was just her company. Her company was so fun. Like I didn't.
But
care
it wasn't a love at first sight story.
Nah, it was I'm trying to smash at first sight. And then
With the
I
ooh
was
too, the
like, yo,
ooh, like that too.
yeah. He walked in, I was like, I would like to be naked with that immediately.
I'd like to be naked with that. That's hilarious.
And yeah, and then her personality, man, she was just fun. And then when I introduced her to my family, they was like, "Yo, she is dope. Like everybody likes her. She was just easy to just hang with." That's what she didn't annoy me. That's really what it was. She didn't annoy me.
You know what I found? Like my ex from years ago, even when I think being around his family, like when the reunion came up and whatever function, because he's from the South, when he notices his family liking you, that makes him like you more, in my opinion. When they notice that your family is chilling and vibing and laughing with this random chick you brought, that's kind of in the back of his head, like, all right, okay.
Now, granted, Cotty had a leg up because she was the first and only girl I ever brought around. So they were just happy that I wasn't being a hoe. Like my family was like, finally somebody then made this nigga sit down.
Really? Even though yeah, that young, wasn't it? You were really young when all that went down, and that's still.
I met her late 20s.
Yeah, that's young, but I guess
Yeah, but it had to start somewhere, and everybody thought I was gonna be single till 40 easily.
because you were having fun.
Yeah, because I was out here, so they was like, he's never gonna settle down ever. So when I brought her, they was like, yo, he brought a chick home. She must be like, they were already judging her like she must be amazing because I even brought somebody around.
What
Like,
did
I didn't have girlfriends. I didn't do none of that, like at all.
are you the wrong guy to have on this panel? So you didn't. No one did it for you ever.
Well, Jack,
No.
Keon was an athlete, and athletes move differently than most guys.
Are you wearing a full top and bottom?
He went to go get it just now. He went to go get it.
It's not the full top. It's just one on the top. It's on some country shit.
I'm digging it.
He left him on top of the Cadillac.
He went outside to go get him.
Let me go run out and get those real quick on the cuts.
Because I was talking to another.
What about being an athlete? Go ahead, Tahir.
I was talking to another athlete, and he basically confirmed and said the same thing that Keon did. Like, there was no feelings attached. It was just like body. Like, they didn't remember their names. It was just something different. It was just it was what it was. For me, it was different. Like, I had one small whole phase right after I found out my son wasn't my son. Even with that, like, it was difficult for me to bed someone that I didn't know a little bit. Like, I've never had like a one night stand where I met somebody in the club, went back and did that, and that was the end of it. Never saw him again, never contacted them, exchanged numbers. I had to have some type of something, you know what I mean? Like, to be able to trust somebody to go back to their place or to be able to invite them back to my place, I had to have something, some type of connection.
And what was it about Farron besides the fact that she's gorgeous? What about?
She was thick as fuck. When you gotta remember when I met her, it was in 2005. We were in college, and she was thick as fuck, and she was 2 months pregnant, so she had like just a little like pregnant booty on her. I was like trying to see what's up with that, and she didn't tell me she was pregnant till like we had been talking for like 2 weeks. I hadn't even got it yet, but I was like, I'm gonna see this through.
So what is it? What part of?
But I will say this: we didn't end up talking the entire time we were in college. We lost contact shortly after I moved out here in 2009, and then I went back looking for her because, like Keon said, she made me laugh. She was somebody that got me. Before we were like in a relationship, we understood the dynamic that we were just dating. So, she was free to date other people. I was free to date other people, but somehow we always ended up coming back to each other. So,
and
hey, Tahir, did she have that? She's cool. I like her company factor as well up top, like Keon said.
Yeah, she was funny. Yeah. She got it. She got the movies I like. We would make movie references. She got that. That's really big. You know what I mean? Like, somebody that you can like laugh and joke with.
You know what,
Jackie, you get the pattern.
We know what's interesting though, and kind of makes me a little bit sad. I have the same characteristics that you guys have. You're funny and fun to be around, and women are attracted to men like that, and I think men are attracted to me for that. But they get involved with me, and I'm like a fun ride. But they don't want to purchase Like they like the ride. They're like Jackie's fun to be around. She's cool. But okay, this is where it comes from. I
They might
believe
not
that,
like the sticker price. They like the way it ride, but they might not like the
yeah,
sticker price.
because I believe that men, even though women's live and we run the world and blah 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 blah, you can't make a man wife you. A lot of women are like they chase, they try and get them. Men, I agree that men are the aggressor. When they decide they meet a woman and they want to date her, make her a girlfriend or a wife, that's all the man's job. I don't care what we do, what we wear, what we read, what spells we think we can do. If y'all don't meet us and want to pursue a relationship, there's not going to be one. So I feel like I can pull a man into my personality, but because they have the power to want it to go to another level, because I'm funny, they don't feel like they can really. They don't feel like they don't have the power to pull me into their world. And I feel like they want me to be in charge, and because you guys are in charge, because you're the men. Does that make any sense?
Jackie, are you smashing fans though? Are you smashing fans?
Jackie, if you don't take off that goddamn rapper jury so we can start hearing you.
What? You don't hear anything?
It was like,
How's everybody
cling,
doing?
cling, cling.
How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? It's a sound thing. Every time you talk, it's like you playing a goddamn tambourine.
Oh, sorry.
Sounds like a gate in the hood in the projects.
Yeah.
had
How's
a
everybody doing?
I had a roommate, and she said that it sounded like she had a cat in the next bedroom because in the middle of the night, all she hears this. She's like, you got a cat in there? Okay, Ron, your beautiful wife. What was it about her besides the fact that she's stunning that did it?
Honestly, my wife was the first woman that ever taught me how to argue and still feel loved.
Damn.
I've dated a lot of fixer-uppers. Like, they dope, but just emotionally, they've been through a lot. And when they meet me, they want to do right by me kind of thing. Because I was always the nice guy, even though I was a hoe. And
you are the worst. Let me tell you something. I got some low down resentment for the nice guy who was a hoe. But that's another story.
I knew what I was doing because I always functioned like a husband, but I didn't have a wife.
That's the worst. You know, that's low key the worst.
I did all the boyfriend stuff, but again, if I see something that I don't like, I'm like, yeah, I can't commit to that. But I show up for you. Man. If you call me 2 in the morning, be like, yo, come get me, because I got you. I was that dude. Because I would honestly, the girls I smashed, I really like their company. But at the same time, if I see you're not a dreamer, you don't believe in nothing, you ain't got no goals, even though you was good company, I'm like, yeah, I can't. My dream too big for your small love. You know what I'm saying?
At that point, you can still be good company for my penis, but there's no chance of us forming a company, is what I'm trying to say.
So a few things, Jackie. One is, again, my wife, I remember one time we had an argument. We was out and we had a little argument or whatever, and we was driving or whatever. And when she was done, she made a statement. She was like, look, whatever, I just had to get my point across, and I still love you. And she held my arm and looked straight. And I had to deal with myself. And I was like, I'm used to girls who go from 0 to 1,000, 0 to 10. They ain't had no middle. It's like, I'm like, how you want me to protect you, but you talk to me like that? I can't protect you and protect me at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you talking to me like you trying to fight me. Like, why would I want to protect you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like that energy in my space. And in my head, I'm like, when I have kids, I don't want my kids to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? So my wife, she taught me how to argue. And 2, like the other homie said, like, she was my buddy, man. Like, we went on vacation for like 2 weeks, and I never wanted to be like, yo, so what you yeah, when you gonna leave? Like, I never felt like that ever. I enjoyed her company. I used to get mad because she had to leave, and I was like, I can't wait till we move in with each other because I don't want you to leave my house anymore.
Oh God, that's so beautiful.
Ron, old R&B ass nigga.
Right? God damn.
It's true though. I didn't want to leave. I enjoyed the company.
Nicholas Giovanni ass nigga. Right?
You see how?
But listen to here though. The thing is though, like with the way I love her though, like I'm just saying. I'm just saying though, fam. I'm usually allergic to shirts, but we on the Zoom. I'm being respectful, fellas. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh God.
Jackie, do me a favor. Jackie, wipe your camera off for me because you're hella blurry right now, and people are saying it too. So
I'm blurry.
Your thumbprint.
Yeah, it's like you lick the
Where?
camera. Don't do it with the finger. Just do it with a napkin or something. I mean, that's better already, but yeah, do it with a napkin or something, Jackie.
Look like you in a hookah lounge. Clean your screen.
That's so accurate, Rod.
Better?
Yeah.
Much better.
She at a hookah lounge.
What? Wow, that was dirty. What the fuck? Where's this laptop been?
Now you in 4K. You was in 420. Now you in 4K. That's hilarious.
Sydney, I was saying before you got here, I'm like, all of you, what you have in common is you guys
You ain't
married.
introduced nobody or nothing.
I know Tahir is so good at it. I'm just like, hey guys, let's talk. All right, good night. I was like, All right,
Give Sydney a formal introduction, then ask him a question.
I'll introduce real quick.
I
Ladies
want
and
to be
gentlemen,
Sydney regular. Sydney's a superhero, man. He been doing his thing.
ladies and gentlemen, these guys are part of my comedy family. When I talk about hitting the stages together in Los Angeles, or not hitting any stages together in Los Angeles, but wanting to, this is the crew that I would go around with. It's usually dudes because women don't hang out as much as guys do, and I'm like a dude where I want to hang out with guys. The first one, he currently has a stand-up comedy special on Amazon. It's called Tony Baker and Friends. Some might say he had the best set on there. I'm not going to say who said that, but
start some shit, Jackie. Start some shit doing the intro.
I'm not starting shit. I'm just saying in terms of I watched everyone's set and I left there like, Tony's where Tony is, and I'm like, but Keon, you elevated your game. You elevated your game for that special, Keon.
Keon got the humble blinks. He like.
You came through. You had fun on that stage, and millions of people saw you, and you got what you wanted. This is amazing. Why are you acting like you're not excited?
Because he's not impressed by it. He's never bombed. Keon has never had
God. You can't bring zooming jokes to here, man.
So Keon Poley right now, guys, his special is currently on Amazon. Go get it. He is comedian he's second to last. Are you second to last?
Yeah.
No, DC was last.
Keon is a problem on stage, man. That's my dude, man.
No, Keon, when Keon gets the feeling, you better, it's about to go down when it gets possessed. Our next guest, he's the host and producer of the incredibly popular online show Zooming with the Homies that he made up one night because he didn't want to go to sleep. And now this shit is everyone's obsession, and nobody wants to go to bed now if they don't watch the show first. And he's now the voice of Supermarket Sweep, hosted by Leslie Jones on ABC.
Oh, dope. Hey. Let them brag on you, Tahir. Let them brag on you.
Tahir, that grill gonna be real at one point, won't it? One day it's gonna be real. That whole grill.
One day.
You're gonna have your name TAH. No I. The TAH.
I don't want that.
Yes, you do. Our next guest. I don't know the name of the show that you would do. What was on Nickelodeon?
Oh, God.
I want to give actual credits.
Oh man, you know everybody credits but mine. You gotta. So what's your name again? I was on a show on Nickelodeon called Cousins for Life.
Yes.
My goodness.
He was the star of the show. How many seasons did it go?
Jackie.
1 season, 2
we
seasons?
did 20 episodes, Jack. 20 episodes. I made so much money, but go ahead.
28 checks. Talk your shit, Ron.
You said I made so much money.
I made so much money.
I'm so debt free right now. Man, I'm debt free. I have no student loan debt. Crazy. Paid off my car and my wife's car. Crazy. I'm living off 2018 money. Ridiculous. Go ahead with my credits, please.
I don't even
This
know.
is why people be mad to me. I just want everybody to know I'm not lumped in with these niggas. These niggas is making
Yes,
money.
you are, Keanu. Part of the
don't ever show your knee again in the camera, Keon.
Keon,
Get that married knee out of camera, Keon.
Keon, part of coming up in the game is associating yourself with success. We
I
are
just meant money wise because I be seeing people like these rich niggas always talk like, hold on, I'm not included in the rich niggas.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you are. You got goddamn massage parlor
True
closet
TV
behind you.
True TV. Our last guest, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait, hold on. You're not gonna mention my Emmy? Is that what we doing?
Oh yeah!
Oh my
God! Wait!
Are we not friends, Jackie?
Ron G was a writer, consultant, and producer on.
You just gonna do that and leave $1 on the bed? You just gonna
Kamal Bell's show on CNN. What was the name of that show again?
Oh my God!
What's the name of it?
United Shades of America.
Yes, he was a consultant, comedy, writing, producer, and won an Emmy Award winning children's show starring in Freshly Married.
This might be I'm so glad it's recorded because you gotta watch this in like 5 years. This shit is so hilarious.
Hey, Sydney, she's like the local host from the town that you headlining in. That's what she is.
Look, but here's the thing. I know the credits. I'm just on the spot.
Hey, this next dude, I seen him online. Y'all gonna love your headliner.
Jackie give intros like she frying chicken. What you did again?
What you did again?
It's Nickelodeon. Drop a 5-piece. And
he was on Disney. He was a Disney dad. He did
You know
Disney.
what? I want to give you most recent credit. And our final guest. If I had to say one of my biggest regrets living in LA is that me and this guy have spent zero time together and have had maybe 3 conversations in 19 years. But we love each other now because being at home is forcing a lot of us to become friends. And this is going to be another jacked up promo, Sydney.
Ooh,
Hey, keep it
ooh.
going though. Be
He
consistent.
was a writer. He was a writer.
Funniest wins.
He was a
Wildin'
writer.
out.
He was a writer for CBS's The Neighborhood. Is that true? There
Yeah.
you go.
Is that true?
I gotta confirm my credits. True. Yes.
Writer on a current, now got a season 2 sitcom, The Neighborhood, with Saturday Entertainer and Tashina Arnold. That's all I know. He had a comedy album he recorded a while back. I don't know where it is. What else did you do
I
recently,
don't know
Sydney?
where it is.
Funniest wins. Funniest wins.
Oh, he won Funniest Wins on TBS. That was a big deal.
I
Jackie,
watched
did we
that.
not
I
fill out
watched
the survey before the pre-show survey? Did we not do that?
I wrote a
Oh
show
my God.
called Marlon on NBC.
Yes, he was a writer on Marlon on NBC.
This is not Jackie's fault. You niggas are too accomplished. You see how easy she went through mine?
No.
This is y'all's fault.
Let's go back to her dating. She
Wait,
don't remember
I
nothing about these niggas. She's fun, but she don't remember nothing.
I consulted on a show called Awake on Netflix currently. It's on Netflix right now.
What do you have coming out, Sydney? What's coming up next?
You ain't gonna remember no way, Jackie.
Okay, Sydney, I was saying that all of you guys have married up. Your wives are so attractive, you would think y'all had money. That's what I was saying.
First of all, I'm beautiful, so
Right.
I'm not gonna sit here and just say that.
I didn't say you guys were.
I'm not saying it's not up, but don't act like you know what I mean. She just came
Right.
all the way down.
Jackie,
I'm not saying-
you see this knee, Jackie?
Oh,
You think
okay.
that's married up?
Shit, don't
You
get
see
it twisted. I'm
this
sitting
knee?
down. I'm a whole 6'4",
this knee.
240. Let me tell you something.
Hey,
This
Sydney,
knee
she had,
gets
she had to come off her throne to come see you on the ground level.
Yeah,
Like, no.
the peasant in the back with
Bottom
the
step
beard.
now.
Like, nah, nigga.
Sydney, when you met your wife, what about her made you want to make her someone you kept in your life on a permanent basis? Besides, the obvious.
Well, I met my wife. I had a girlfriend. What? No, I'm joking.
I'm here for it. I want to hear real stuff. Everybody don't meet at Starbucks. I want to hear a real story. Did you really have a girlfriend?
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we all can hear you.
No, my shit came out. All right, so no, real talk. I was actually with somebody, and my homegirl, I was doing a show in Arlington, and she came out, and boom, I was like, oh, she's cute, but me and her went out, and then later introduced or whatever, and then like
I can't hear you,
what's the
Sydney.
question? You can't hear me at all?
No, you like real low.
Damn.
No, it's you. It's you like I was at a show.
Yeah.
What's the question?
What
Okay,
what about your wife made you want to be with her permanently, or at least
Oh.
consistently?
Man, she was dope. And to be honest with you, it was like the first person I was like I could like be my like I didn't have to like hide some shit. You know what I mean? Like when I met my wife, all the funniest wins money was gone. You know what I mean? And I was like kind of scared to tell her. You know what I mean? I was like, 'cause, you know what I mean? I was like scared to tell her, like, hey man, I blew through that shit. I didn't know how to tell her because she knew me before. You know what I mean? And then we didn't whatever. And then so I thought she assumed that I just had this funniest wins money, and I knew me and James knew I didn't. So
Where'd you meet her?
I met her at a comedy club originally, and then my best friend back home named Brandy. They were friends, and she introduced me to her. Like,
Sydney got like 9 best friends, man.
Oh my God, Ron! I was about to say Sydney got 11 best friends.
Man, whatever, man.
Do they know that they're not number one?
Hey, man, listen. So
The best
where we
friends.
met. And then and then she was cool. You know what I mean? And I remember telling her, like, hey man, I ain't got that money, you know that, right? And she was like, I don't care about that. I said, you for real? Because I don't even want to hold you. I'm gonna make some more money, but the current 100,000 is gone.
But why? But real talk. Why would that even need to be discussed? It's a lot of money. But
the
it's
point,
also...
listen, the point. That's a joke, but the point of it is, like, I felt comfortable enough to just be bare and talk and be cool, like, you know what I mean? And exchange and the communication was good. So it's like things like that, or like if I had a joke, I remember like specifically this moment, I was like, I had a joke idea in my head, you know what I mean? And I couldn't find my pen. And she's like, don't worry about it. And she took like some scrap paper and she's like, what is it? And she started like writing down my jokes. You know what I mean?
Oh.
I thought that was super dope. And I was like, okay, cool. And it was like genuine because you meet a bunch of chicks in LA that's like just different. You know what I mean? Not saying they
Yeah.
bad, but the chicks I met, I won't say chicks in LA
To
because
pick
not all
to
chicks. The
piggyback
big,
on that,
yeah.
I
what
got a
made
question
it
for you
weird?
too, Jack. Jack. I got
What
a
made
question for you, Jackie.
real quick?
Go
I
ahead.
wanna lead into the next Sydney, and then I'll go back to you, Ron. What is it about the women in LA that you found? Like,
No,
what's the
I'll say the women I
commonality?
dated. I won't say just women
No,
in
no,
LA.
no. This is the women that you chose. It's always a
Yeah.
choice, a personal choice.
It's
What
a
were
lot
you?
of differences, man. Like either they don't believe in God or like they'll just be like I'm in entertainment, but I'm like not of entertainment. Like my personality doesn't breed I need to be out. Like I need to just be like, shit like that. So it's just you know what I mean? It's just I don't know, it's just a difference, man. Not saying there's some bad women in LA, it's just the ones I was meeting was just
Because you
like
posted it on Twitter the other day or whatever you posted. You were like you
yeah.
were telling you were telling actors and entertainers if you get a when you get a girl, get yourself get yourself a nice T-shirt or somebody that's in the regular world. Don't
Yeah,
get
because
somebody that's in this.
actresses are crazy. Because some actresses like they work home. It's like it's like and they're spoiled on set. You gotta realize that. So they're spoiled on set, and then they come home and it's like, okay, cool, I could spoil you, but it's like it just was a lot of dramatics. Like the arguments, it's just like a lot of drama. You know what I mean? I think it just comes from naturally sometimes being in goddamn the field of drama, but not saying not. I'm being real vague because I ain't trying to I ain't trying to be mean.
Why be
When?
mean? Who cares?
Wait, when, nigga?
These niggas was crazy, nigga. Like I remember dating a girl and she
Right.
was cool. Like she was an actress. She was cool. It's like, all right, bet. Financially, stable, all right, bet. And it was like, I don't do the Jesus thing. I was like, oh, okay, you're not gonna make it. And that's where that joke came from. It's like, all right, bet. And then you meet somebody else and they cool, but it was just like they our energies, like in their soul just wasn't right for me. You know what I mean? You could just tell in conversation and just you could
What?
just tell.
Give one example of something that you hear in conversation that makes you be like, she was almost gonna make the cut, but she did that.
A lot of women they didn't really believe in God, and that's a deal breaker for me. Like it's like
Really?
yeah, I'm dead serious. You would think, I would think that black women just naturally believe in God because where I was raised, they just naturally believe in God.
I would
And
think
out
you
in
wouldn't. I would
LA, that is not the case. Like it is not the case at all. Like,
I would
and
think
that,
you wouldn't attract a woman who wasn't a believer. That's what I was trying to say. I figure you
I
are
had to
you.
go get redipped. I had to go get redipped. And be like, you know what I mean? What am I doing?
Redid.
Shit.
What were you gonna ask, Ron? Ask me.
I feel like for context, you should tell the people that's watching what it's like being a black female comedian in LA. Like what that feel like.
Ugh.
Because we hear stories like as comedians, but like I feel like you should like give the people context so they'll understand why you chose us to have this conversation.
I chose you guys because all of you have been married for less than a decade. That includes Joey, if and when he joins in. And we all know what it's like to be broke, single, and confused about our future in Los Angeles. Whether you're
Mm.
living in an apartment that you don't really, it'll do. We're all attractive, but there was no love life. We all know what that feels like. And as a woman, if I were to be honest, I kept fucking around with comedians. That was one of my
Was that
faults.
just because of convenience? Was that
No,
just a
no,
convenience thing?
I enjoyed it. I gravitated towards you guys. I'm attracted to funny. My whole life, a guy had to be funny to pique my interest. So why would that disappear? Because I become a professional funny person and I become an older woman. The older you get, I'm like you become more like I really don't have many choices. So if this nigga's not funny, I really can't do nothing with him. Of a single woman in Los Angeles, I found dating to be no one wanted to talk about how they really felt because no one wanted to be vulnerable.
Well, it's
And
like you gotta choose who you give your energy to like that. Like if I'm not
yeah,
feeling you like that, I'm not feeling like, we could talk on a level of where we at, but I gotta really be feeling you to like really, go
everything,
into vulnerability.
I want to
everything.
say something too, Jackie. Like
Yeah,
you have a lot of people that move out here, who they move out here with this preconceived notion of what it's supposed to be like in LA, and no one wants to admit that truth. And part of admitting that truth is being vulnerable, but also dating in LA, being vulnerable when you got women who are used to dating rappers or drug dealers and stuff like that. If you want to be vulnerable, you have to be able to express yourself. If I try to express myself and you call me weak or why you sound like a bitch right now, you do all of that, it makes it more difficult for the next woman when I try to open up and I'm greeted with that type of hostility as a response of me telling you how I feel about a situation. Or you say you arguing like a bitch right now just because I told you I didn't like that you did something. It's like that doesn't work for me. Like if I can't express myself with you, then I'm gonna be quiet, and then I will shut down, and I would never try to have another conversation.
I didn't see
I was gonna say, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
the mentality that I had when I was in LA that I think a lot of people have that work what we do, or it's kind of what we do. Everything in LA felt for me like, how did you get that? And that was everything. How did you get that spot? How'd you get that TV show? How'd you get that free meal? And then it was a matter of me just grasping whatever I could get. And that included dick. How'd you get that booking? How'd you get that show? How'd you get that meal? How'd you get that dick? And it was all survival. Everything was survival. It's like they're giving out free food. Well, I haven't eaten all day. Are they giving out spots? I won't come hang out at the club until they pick me. I'm horny. I haven't had sex in a couple of months. Who can I get to come scratch this itch?
I mean,
Everything.
sometimes like in dating too, nobody talks about, and like I don't know everybody's situation, but like I really didn't start making money till I was like consistent money till I was probably like 29, 30, you know, where I was like, I can consistently count on entertainment gonna pay my bills like that, right? And so in your 20s, sometimes you meet women who are dope, you know what I mean? And they are looking for someone to lead financially as well. And I wasn't in positions to do that. And so sometimes I knew that. And so I would not even pursue something serious because I know financially I'm on a survival mode right now. I'm on a hustle grind. I got to sell these DVDs on the road because I got to make the money, some profit coming back because I got to pay the bills and
Yeah.
taking care of you as well. Not saying that's what you want, but just me like taking care of you and helping you.
Want to be
I'm not
able
in a
to.
position to do that. So really I'm setting up for us to fail because I'm gonna have to end it because when you need to count on me financially, I'm not gonna be able to do that right now.
Right.
And
And I was gonna say this too. I was gonna say too, piggybacking on what Sydney said is because again, a lot of us we in that stage of our career where we've sown the seeds and now we're like seeing the benefits of the seeds we've sown in our career. And a lot of times the women I've dated didn't have the vision for where I was going. And I dated a lot of girls who could handle where I was at, but they couldn't handle where I was going. You know what I'm saying? And because I was broke, I used to show up with my heart. And like kind of how Sydney mentioned, I think Sydney mentioned earlier, oh, so to hear is one time I was me and this girl was talking and she was joking, but she was joking kind of harsh. And I'm like, yo, like that was kind of rude. And she's like, oh, you always being a punk. And I was like, no, I'm telling you how I feel so you don't have to guess. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, no, you always being a punk. And I was like, no, I'm telling you how I feel because like I do this for a living. That's not funny. And she was like, yeah, she said, you being sensitive. And I was like, well, I'm telling you how I feel so you don't have to guess how I feel. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving you the cheat sheet in my heart so you know how to respond. Because as a man, like I'm gonna tell you how I feel. Like that's what it is. And later on, I think she was always used to dating like dudes that wasn't expressive. And I was like, the coldest thing on the planet is a man, a silent man. Silent man can have a whole nother family and you'll never know. And I'm sitting here telling you what I need and you don't want to hear me. You know what I'm saying? And then later on, I saw her later on and she was like, I made a mistake. I was in a real crazy place. And you know, you young and entitled and cute. Like you don't read it. Like that's not value to you. And also too, like I said, I always brought my heart. And so the problem for me was I would meet a real dope chick and I'd be the dude that show up with my heart. I'm telling her how I feel. I'm planning dates and I'm competing with the dude. I would show up with one rose at her job. I'm competing with the dude who pay her rent. And I would take it personal, like, yo, why she don't want me? But later on, I realized like she's an opportunist. Like she don't get like I'm the dude that she wanted her parents to meet. You know what I'm saying? But again, I'm competing with the dude who pay her rent because she ain't SAG yet, but she don't see the value in that. And now this dude, like in his life, she's Tuesday, but she don't know that. She'd rather be Tuesday than actually be with somebody who will give you a whole heart. Because I've seen women share men because she'd rather have the popular guy instead of the guy who actually want her.
Let it out, Ron.
How do you?
I had to learn that being called sensitive shouldn't be an insult, because for so long, especially in the Black and brown community, that has been an insult. That's been somewhat of a roast. Like, oh, this sensitive ass nigga right here. Like, but I had to learn through being married and being a father that it's not a bad thing to be sensitive. It's not a bad thing to be able to be in contact and aware of your feelings and your emotions, and to be able to display them and express them. Like that's actually a really strong thing to go against what everybody else is crediting as being weak, and stand up and say, yo, that shit hurt my feelings. Like, because it's like Farron we joke a lot like that, but when we are talking sometimes, she has this look on her face and she has a tone when she talks. And I had to tell her, I was like, yo, sometimes you be talking to me and I want to push you down a small flight of stairs because of your tone. And she had heard about her tone before from like friends, family, and stuff like that, and work. But she didn't realize that sometimes you got to hear from the right person to understand, like, it's something that you need to work on. And from that, she ended up working on it, and we got past that. But that was something that I had to learn on, that being sensitive is not something that we should shy away from. There's nothing wrong with being sensitive. Just means that you're aware of your feelings. It doesn't mean like overly sensitive, like any little thing makes you cry. Is something different from being sensitive. Being sensitive just means you're aware of your senses, you're aware of what's going on, and you're aware of how it made you feel, and you're able to express that. That's not something that should be counted as
A negative, no.
Or
What-
weaponized, yeah. Or weaponized at all, yeah.
What
Yeah,
don't you?
I was gonna
What
say
don't?
too.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Jackie, as a black man, we have
Yeah.
to specialize in being a lion and a lamb at all times. Like everybody on the Zoom, you got to learn how to be a lion and lamb in order to like successfully become a black man. Because with your like our whole entire life, we taught to be tough, be strong, don't cry. But then in this world we live in, especially in this industry we're in, we hear so many no's, and you got to keep your face on. You can't feel the way you want to feel in public, especially as a comedian. You're not allowed to feel and have feelings. Like, you a comedian, why are you depressed? Like, nigga, I'm depressed. Like, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I made a standard in my house. So I told my wife, I said, look, you can't yell at me. Like, we're not doing that. I grew up in a household. My dad, used to drink or whatever. I said, I'm used to like having the feeling of being in a household as a little black boy, and you're not allowed to feel. And when you tell how you feel, somebody tell you to shut up. You know what I'm saying? And the next day, my dad don't remember nothing. I got to deal with that. So it made me a sensitive kid on purpose, and I'm aware of my feelings. I'm like, what does that make me feel like when my dad tells me to shut up? You know what I'm saying? You a kid, you don't tell, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have a voice. So I told my wife, I said, when you raise your voice to me around me in my childhood, I can't deal with that. I need my house to be safe, and I want my house to be the safest place on the planet. Because as a black man, sometimes women, y'all know what it's like. Like, I got to come home to safety. Because when I leave this house, everything outside this house is meant to destroy me. And being a black entertainer, the amount of no's you hear in LA, we don't count the cost of that. So I'm like, yo, that's the standard. And I said, we have to learn how to be a lion and a lamb. So I want that to be the standard for my wife too. I don't want my kids to grow up in a household where they like scared to tell us how they feel because they know we're going to explode on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like women, y'all deserve that too.
What's the
Y'all
hardest?
deserve that kind of love.
What's the hardest thing about being married?
These hoes, nigga. No.
He said it. We were just thinking it.
Besides the you can't touch anymore, you can just look. What's the hardest thing about being married?
I think for me,
learning.
Person, go ahead, Keon.
Oh, go ahead, Sid.
No. You haven't spoken in a minute. Go ahead, nigga.
For me, it was learning basically how to deal with somebody else. Like I said, because I was single my whole life, learning like just how to deal with someone, like how somebody else feels, or how somebody else does things, or how somebody, and like you're sharing this space, you're sharing this life, and it's like trying to navigate around somebody else when all you've been doing is your whole life. So like having those conversations, having those, well, what do you like? What do you, and just learning how, like, not everybody gets down like you either. Like, I'm the type of person, I'd be like, but some people need to feel more or talk more or whatever. So learning how to communicate with somebody who doesn't communicate like you. So like, I'm straight up like, nigga, let's deal with it. Like, boom, it's done. Get over it. And she's not like that. And so I had to like meet her where she was at so we could get to a common ground and understanding. Because if it was up to me, I'd be like, man, let's just say what it is, boom, and be done with it. Like, what you crying for? Like, but that doesn't work.
And you come from a healthy marriage, mother and father, still married, that kind of stuff?
Well, they divorced when I was 20, but I had 18, 19 years of, I was 19, 20, something like that. But I had, enough to see. When they got divorced, we didn't even really know why. We were like, oh, all right, well, they must have been they hid a lot of shit from us, apparently. So yeah, I saw a healthy my family growing up was like, honestly, when my mom and dad divorced, my friends cried. Like other people took it harder than I did. Because they was like, you guys are like the epitome of like a black family. So when my parents split, people like the community took it hard. Like, well, if they can't make it, we're all doomed.
Yeah.
So I did grow up seeing like a good loving relationship or whatever. But you know, I'm not in my parents' business. So when I get married, I had to learn, you know, basically how to do this from scratch. Because
That
you
is
know,
something. That is something I learned growing up. That my parents' marriage was mutually exclusive from their dealing with their kids. People think
yeah.
that everyone's involved. I'm like, no, the marriage is something totally different. Got nothing to do with the children. That's their shit. To hear what's the hardest thing about being married?
Was I didn't think I knew what unconditional love. I don't think I knew what unconditional love was when I got married. Um, for the most part of my life, I think I have been showed and displayed conditional love. So at any moment when we would get into it, I was in the back of my mind. I'm like, all right, this is it. This is it. Like I'm ready. I'm gonna just pack my bag. Like I was like that. I didn't really know what unconditional love was until I met Farron, because when I got thought I had a son at 14, uh, my mom at the time was my best friend, but after I told her about the kid, like it drastically changed.
Mm.
Um, and then I had a best friend that was my dog, and he got killed in my house. And I found out my son wasn't my son after I graduated high school. So like everybody that I loved and latched on to, the relationship completely changed. So I never really knew what unconditional love was. So it wasn't until I got with her that I had to um, ex- I don't know, experience that and start to embrace it, like to the point where I was so emotionally disconnect. Like we get into it or something like that, or we'd be having a conversation, or something went wrong at her day or with her day or something like that, and she would be crying, and I'm just sitting there looking at her because I didn't know how to comfort someone in their time of grieving or hurt. Like I didn't know to rub her back. I didn't know to get close and hold around the shoulder and tell her it's gonna be okay. I'm good at doing that in the dating stages to make me look like the perfect guy. But when like I'm completely exposed and I have to like do that like for real, I was no good at it. And she had to teach me how to love her properly. She had to teach me how to love my daughter properly. I did not ever hug anyone from the female race unless we were about to get nasty. I had to learn how to give a loving hug with no sexual tension, no sexual intent involved, because I did not know it. Look at that. She just brought me dinner. Look at that. Look how good that look right
Aw.
there.
Oh,
Um,
Sydney, what's the hardest thing about marriage?
Wait, real quick before Sydney goes, just real quick.
Yeah.
Uh, I forgot to say it because I couldn't get the words right. The hardest thing was, honestly, was making everybody gets in relationships and be like, they talk about what their spouse needs to do. And that's why they say relationships aren't hard because of that. Relationships are hard because you're constantly trying to figure out what you need to do right. And
Mhm.
changing yourself is hard. You making sacrifices is hard. You changing how you're being, all that stuff is hard. And that's why people be like, oh, this shit is work. This shit is hard, because if you're trying to do it right and become better, you have to change yourself. And that shit is hard as hell. And that probably has been the hardest part for me, is changing myself and
Mm.
not trying to tell her what she's doing or fix her. Let me just work on my shit, and she work on, and we'll be fine.
Yeah. Sydney, what's the hardest thing about marriage for you?
I say in the beginning it was like, you know, like we dreamers, right? So it's like I make my money off plans and dreams and like visions and writing
Hmm.
things down, and like so like I believe in like writing stuff down, speaking life into people and stuff like that. And I think sometimes if you're not coming from that world, which she's not in entertainment, she comes from like a 9 to 5 IT job. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Just in life, and I'm like trying to encourage or whatever. It might seem like I'm being hard on her. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So trying to learn like what's a way to communicate without coming off like
You're
you
better than.
know
Yeah.
yeah, or better than, or like yeah, I guess yeah, right, better than when you're trying to like really bring the best out of them.
that's that when you because we dream so much and we're always thinking of something like, what if I wrote a movie? What if so abstract? When you're dealing with somebody who deals with life in terms of this is what we're doing tomorrow, that's I can see
Yeah,
how that's a lot of conflict because your dreams are like, I don't know how this is gonna happen.
yeah.
But the person
Like
you're
if
with
she
is
going
like,
through,
I know exactly what we're gonna do next Thursday. It's a
like if
different
she's
world.
like an honest story, like if she's upset about her job, like all right, cool, you could quit and like you can consult, you can open up a
Do
company.
what you love, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could like you can create a form of income through the knowledge that you already have. I can help you like with that part. Like you're smarter than me in your field, but I excel in like the planning of an idea to help you get to where you need to go. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So if she doesn't need that right now because she has a job, but to me it's like if that's what I'm good at. You know what I mean? So
Why
just
complain about something you can change?
you know what I mean?
Kind of
What
mentality.
what's the hard what do you find hard about marriage, Ron?
Two things for me. One is I never been in a relationship long enough to know if I can like love somebody. Because in your head, I thought that love is like marriage is warm and fuzzy every day. And again, like I had a long relationship that was off and on for like 4 years. And in my head, I thought it was like, oh, you're gonna feel warm and fuzzy every day. You know what I'm saying? But then we broke up so many times that once I clocked out after the second time, I was like, this is weird. So getting married, I was like, can I sustain? That's why I hate when people say I'm in love. In love is not sustainable. Love is literally a choice. I'm gonna love you even though I don't feel nothing. Like some days I don't feel nothing, and it's okay because I never knew that was a thing because I haven't had any long-term relationships. So now love for me is like literally a choice. When I don't feel good, I'm not feeling myself, my career, I'm gonna still show up and love you and take care of you despite how I feel. That's what real love is. And that's why I hear people like be excited about new relationship. Like, yeah, it's cool, but y'all ain't started talking yet. Like you haven't met who you really dealing with yet, and most people plan love off 1 through 10. 1 through 10 is I need somebody that's cute in school, believe in whatever. Like, but the stuff you don't plan is the stuff that can take you out. And that's the stuff that comes after marriage when you like really doing life with somebody. And it's scary once you get to that point.
So
Secondly, go
okay.
ahead.
No, secondly, please go on. Go
I was
on.
gonna say,
Ron, real quick
Go
to
ahead.
speak to that. Let me tell you something. The first time when we first moved together, Brandon put everything on auto pay. That first time, and I told him, I'm like, yo, let's not do auto pay just in case. This is the sowing of the seeds. This is where every dollar counts. She put everything on auto pay, car insurance, Wi-Fi, cable, gas, everything came out after we had just dropped off the rent, and we were like 3,000 in the negative. That was almost it. I was like, "Yo, you don't like it here, right? You ready to go? You ready to go
You
back?
don't like
Because that's how you acting right now. You acting like you ready to go back. Those are the things you don't think about.
No.
When you think about getting mad. Those little things right there. I'm sorry, Ron. I just had you sparked
nah,
something.
you
I was
good,
like,
bro. Because it's the stuff you plan. The stuff you plan for don't take you out. It's the stuff that you didn't plan.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that's gonna take you out of marriage. Also too, and also, man, I got so many things. And then the other thing is like family dynamics, because you don't realize how your childhood affects your current. And for me, growing while somebody's in my space was like the hardest part. Like I said, I battled depression, got PTSD, a lot of family stuff, and I feel like God just be dealing with me, man. And to have somebody in your space while you growing is not a good feeling. Like on your own, you single, you can talk that talk and turn your little switch off. I ain't calling you no more. I ain't dealing with you. But sometimes people turn that switch off because they don't want to deal with themselves. Because when people call you on your stuff and you got to grow every day, like every day is gonna be like, I call it office work. If you marry the right person, it's office work. If it's the wrong person, it's construction work. And some of that work is your fault. You know what I'm saying? So you got to work on yourself. But like battling depression while somebody's in my space, and my wife's like, "How can I help?" I'm like, "I don't know. Half time I don't even know I'm depressed." I'm like, "This is weird. I just know I don't feel myself." And I personally can't function in a negative space, but I got to self-talk to myself and still show up for my wife, still be kind to her, even when I don't feel like it. And that's what love is.
Everything you say, Ron, could be a T-shirt. Like half the things that come out of your mouth need to be on merch.
that's
I appreciate it.
And Ron ghostwrites for Drake because everything Ron and Drake have go inside of a Valentine's Day call.
I have text Ron after seeing him online, like, that's a T-shirt, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna make you laugh in between the truth.
Yes.
That's so
Ron,
funny.
that's how you know Ron has dealt with his feelings. Like really, he's really dealt with them because he be having to say it
You
down.
got
Nigga
slogans.
like, be like, I don't know, nigga. I don't know. Shit.
All right,
You be
For
honest.
real, man.
for the women who are, for the women who are watching it and they're hoping to watch this and get some insight, what would you say is something that you have noticed that women are doing wrong? The ones who want love.
Not being honest.
Man,
Wait, but
man,
wait, define about what
man,
they want.
man. And then I want to
Yeah.
speak after this. You go ahead, Keon.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey,
Go
Shit.
ahead.
I gotta hop off in like 1 minute. Do you
Go
mind if I
ahead.
go right for you?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would say this to the ladies. First, let me say this to the fellas.
Okay.
Fellas, lead with the truth. If you know you just want to smash and you're not looking for a relationship, say that. You would be amazed at how many women would be okay with it. And they would
Yes,
be okay with
you
it because you gave them the opportunity to make a choice. When you lie to women or you lie to anybody for that moment, for that, you take away their opportunity. You strip them of the opportunity to make a choice. So that's what I would say. Honesty and communication always key. Ladies, when a guy tells you what he wants and what he's looking for and what he's about, believe him. Listen. Listen with your eyes. Do not try to go into something thinking you're going to change somebody. It shouldn't be about changing somebody. If you're in a relationship, it should be about you guys uplifting each other to different levels, but it shouldn't be about changing somebody. Most times when people are over 30, they're in their ways. They're going to get more. They're going to become more of who they are at that time. Some people will change, but for the most part, people are who they are in their 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all should be trying to lift each other up, not completely change each other, but listen with your eyes. Because a motherfucker can tell you whatever they want to. All that shit sounds good. But if you watch a person long enough, you're going to see who they really are. They can't keep up the charade forever. So listen with your eyes, lead with honesty, and communication is key. I got to hop off, Zoom with the homies. We out this thing.
Hey. Message. Get him, Reverend.
Okay, Keon, you were piggybacking on that. Be honest.
Yeah. Be honest, yo. Like, and I see people in the comments like, you can't be honest with them, nigga. Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
No, wait, no, here's the thing. I
Yes,
agree.
you can.
I agree. You should be honest, but women, we edit what we want based on what we hear from you. That's just
Well,
a
here's
part
the
of,
thing.
that's part of our insecurity about we just want a boyfriend. So whatever he thinks he wants, I want the same thing.
Right. And that's what I'm saying by being honest. Don't tell me that shit when that's not true. Secondly, like Tahir said, believe him. Like a lot of times we'll tell y'all something and then you'll take what we said and do whatever the hell you want with it. If I said, damn it, I want a red car, well, does he mean purple? No, I want a fucking red car. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Don't take what I said, do whatever you want with it to fit whatever it is that you need at the time. This is what I said. This is what I need. Don't change it. Because when you hear what you want and you change it, then it becomes, well, you didn't say, no, you did this to yourself. I told you what was up. I told you how I feel, and you did whatever you want with it. That's on you. And I don't feel shit about it like that because you did that.
And the whole thing about changing a man, we really can't change a man, can we? Like,
No.
you really, this is true. This is real.
God can change somebody. Who the hell you think you are?
But I will say the right woman will motivate him to do better.
Yes.
It might not be a permanent change, but it'll at least spark and inspire, like, yo, I need to step my game up. Because, like, one thing my wife did, like, she made me become the best version of myself. And I say that all the time because I'm a dope guy. Like, financially solid, you know what I'm saying? Got an education, got a career. But what got me to where I am didn't work with my wife, meaning, like, I got by on charm and being funny my whole entire life. It's like being an athlete, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got by charm and funny. I was Greek, you know, in college, so I always got what I wanted. Never had anybody really tell me no. But with my wife, she was actually funnier than me, like off camera, not on stage. Like, she's just a funny individual. So I had to show my words and how I really felt. And it was kind of scary because my tools didn't work anymore and I had to upgrade my tools. But when I realized, like, God was trying to do something different with me, he was like, yo, like, you can run from this and potentially forfeit everything that I have for you, or you can lean into it and become a better version of yourself. Because most people, especially when they're single, they think I can be the best version of myself, and you can't. It's like going to the gym and having a trainer versus not having a trainer. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to push you past your own feelings, and sometimes it's not even intentional, especially if you date somebody who come from a solid household. They're going to make you step your game up.
Yeah. Sydney?
This is my advice to the women that are single
Okay.
right now. Right,
Yes.
two things.
Don't
Right,
hold back either.
I'm not. I love y'all. If you single and you are trying to look to me for a man, or not look that you want, to me, I think you should minimize your social media because I feel like you'll get into a whirlwind of memes, tweets, ideology of like men, and you bring that to a man who ain't got shit to do with that. And I think you follow a lot of people that aren't successful in relationships, but speak on behalf of relationships and trickle it down to y'all, and y'all retweet it, and that person hasn't shown you a solid relationship to even why you're even following them in that lane. It's like I don't. It's the craziest thing to me, and it's like if I would not go. I just went to the dentist today. If I went to the dentist and he had no degree or no dentistry experience, why would I even? But y'all follow people to me that have no success in relationships, and they give y'all advice, and it's viral. Y'all just be. So I think that's toxic because y'all are putting that in your mind. A. B, I think everybody across the board, but should go to therapy. If you're in your over,
That's big, Sid.
if you are at a certain time in your life and you keep having the same kind of interaction with men, you should go to therapy and see like, boom, work on myself. Like Keon, like when you go to therapy, I'll tell you, hey man, circle your name because that's who you got to work on, right? And really work on yourself and find out what it is in you that's attracting or just what you got to work on for yourself before you take your damaged ass to a man who's already been grinding his ass off, now in a position too, and I got to deal with this when you could have did that work for me by working on yourself before you met me.
You know what's funny, Sydney, is
But
that
that would mean that they would have to be accountable, and that is not women's
Yes.
strong.
First word.
You have
First
to
That's
word.
go.
not strong. Accountability
anybody-
for women
yeah.
is you guys like. Why can't you just be like it's always something else. It's always or this or that. No, nigga, it's you, and you
but
won't
then-
admit
yeah.
that it's you.
And then you'll go online and get in this whirlwind of bullshit because the
Right.
of well, men don't realize it with a man and see, and it's like, well, black men, it's like, see, now you're in a whirlwind of bullshit, right? And then you get a man like myself, it's like, what are you even talking about? Like, why are you even coming to me like that? You know what I mean?
you
It's
know
like
what
versus
fun-
going get your ass down, Jackie, go to therapy,
You know
talk
what-
to somebody consistently,
you know what's
and like,
fascinating?
and pull it out of you.
You know what I'm shocked by, Sydney, is that
Go ahead.
the big guy you saw in the video last night, I mentioned to him, would you want to go to couples therapy? And when I tell you that he said yes,
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
I
Like, I
was a
thought for
nigga
sure
against
he'd be
therapy.
like,
Like, what am I going to therapy for? For what? And then I went. I was like, best thing I ever did.
yeah. I was so shocked that he said yes. 'Cause I thought he'd be like, there's no way I'm going to therapy. So you're right. Sometimes you realize
Go.
that the voices in your head just ain't enough. All right, guys, it's been an hour.
You didn't ask me the same question, Jack.
Yes, I did. I
Yes,
want
you did,
advice,
yeah.
advice for women. For
You asked
women who
them.
are
You
out
didn't
there
ask me. I
dating.
was waiting on my turn.
I figured you gave me every. I'm sorry, Ron.
Okay, I'll
Please.
shut up. I'll shut up.
I don't want you to
By
shut
the
up.
way-
You know what, Ron? Oh, because he has so many gems inside of what he says. I feel like he answers all the questions I have in my soul. But go ahead,
The
Ron.
accountability thing, by the way, is not 100% women's fault.
Hell, goddamn right, it's not.
Because dudes sit there and deal with their bullshit and let them continue to do bullshit because they're scared that, oh, she might walk. They're so afraid of losing out on some vagina that they will just deal with the bullshit and never call her out on her shit.
But if
So
that's
she's
repetitive,
oblivious.
yeah, you're right.
She's oblivious to her bullshit because everybody's been like, no, you're fine because I'm trying to hit it.
I think men got that same problem. Go ahead, Ron. Give your advice to women out there who are single. What are they doing wrong? What could they change?
So I will say this. I feel like men commit to the woman that hold them accountable. Men are built to be held accountable. And we commit to the woman who holds us accountable. If you've been dating somebody for 7 years and he ain't committed to you, and you still asking, giving him ultimatums, which in an ultimatum, he only gonna commit to you because he don't want to hurt your feelings. You run the risk of him only doing because he don't want to hurt your feelings versus like saying how you really feel, drawing the line and walking away.
You know what's
In a
funny,
car
Ron?
dealership, the person who willing to walk away get the best deal.
Here go Ron. More slogan. You know what's fun? You know what I find fascinating about you, Ron?
What was that?
your philosophy, which is of course valid and true and real and accurate, I feel like if I were to follow it and a lot of girls were to follow, a lot of us would be single for a long time. All it means is that you have
And it's
standards.
okay.
No. I know it's okay,
That's
Ron.
okay.
I know it's okay, but it's also scary. Like you are saying the right thing for us to do.
It's called being an adult.
Yeah, Ron. But don't you know being an adult it sucks sometimes? It's not cool every day. It's
But
horrible.
you haven't been an adult like
But
recently. Like you've been an adult for a while.
Yes.
Yeah, but being what you just
Buckle up.
said, what you just said is part of the problem. Like, but then I'd be single. So what? So what?
Don't be
So
jealous of
what?
your relationship. That don't mean they're happy.
No.
And I'm saying for you, and particularly women, you have all the power. Tell this nigga what you want.
It don't
Hey,
feel
look,
like it.
I can't have this kind of sex with somebody I'm not committed to because I know how I am emotionally and blah 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 whatever. This is what I need. If he tell you I can't do that, that's your answer. Because the man that
Hey,
wants you,
listen.
the man that wants you don't want to share you with the world. The man that really wants you, he don't want to share you with nobody, and he'll be sick if you walked out of his life. If he really loved you, even if he didn't know he loved you.
Hey man, if you can't, it's easy. Fuck with niggas who make a plan for you in their life, who show you a plan. If he ain't got a plan for you, what you keep fucking him for?
Hey,
Like, if
boys,
this
give you
man-
questions.
like-
Boy, go
Like,
ahead. Sid.
it's like you gotta have a plan. My wife lived in Texas. I had to present a plan that was comfortable enough to move her shit to California. So I had to make a plan. Niggas make plans for what they want. If you messing with a dude where you gotta ask what the plan is, and it's no longer about him. You are grown. Make the decision to leave this nigga so you can go find a nigga that wants to happily make a plan for you. And if you keep going back, don't nobody feel sorry for you.
You ain't a
Leave
victim, you a
the nigga.
volunteer.
Right.
Black women are the smartest women in the country. You can look it up as a fucking stat. So you can't be not, you can be the same smart. If I'm messing with a nigga that don't got a plan for my life and is not making plans for me and it's all about him, then why am I keep fucking with him? Then
But
it
they
become
know
about
that
you.
though. They know
Yeah, but
he's
then it
trash.
come-
They know it ain't for him.
Then it's you. Gotta go sit down. Go to therapy. Go sit
Exactly.
down. Why do I keep fucking with niggas that ain't got no plan for me?
And boys give you questions, grown men give you answers. The right man will answer all the questions that trouble your heart that another man couldn't even address because he was too scared to say it because he wasn't a man. The right man, all the stuff where are we going? Like when I made up my mind by my wife, I said, look, you can't do this with nobody else. We done. Not even lying. I said, the way I felt about her, I'm like, I can't share you with the world because that would make me sick. If I saw you out with somebody else, I couldn't handle that. And I made a decision. Also too, I feel like women, you have all,
You notes, my nigga? You looking at?
All right,
no,
right.
because
Also,
because I wrote it down
No,
because
you
I
look
knew
at
y'all were
that-
talking. Right. No, it's true. Like, and I feel like women, you have all the power. Like, you see what you want, and if he show you what you want, like you got an answer. Like when I hear y'all say F boys, it drives me nuts. Tell me he was an F boy. I'm like, if he ain't got no car, he ain't got no job, and he running up miles in your car, and you sleep with him and get pregnant, you mad? And he eat McDonald's every day. You mad at him for not taking care of the kid? Who's really to blame for it? You saw everything you need to see and ran the red light and was like, oh, now he an F boy. If you know he trash and you got a master's degree, how you get hustled by a dude with a GED and you got a master's degree?
I'm trying to figure out how he's toxic when you keep messing with this nigga. That makes you toxic because you obviously want the bullshit. If you keep messing with a dude that you know is trash or he's toxic or whatever, and you keep doing it, you yourself is also, you must like the chaos. You must like the bullshit. You must like
I love when women be online being like, another married one. Nigga, you're grown. You knew the nigga was married. You like the chaos. You went and talked to that nigga. You probably had sex with him, and then you want not like feel like you want to play like a victim. Like, you can't keep getting duped when you grown. You get duped in your teenage years, your college years. You getting duped over 35. Go sit in front of a therapist. What's wrong? I keep getting duped, nigga. I don't know. Nigga, I need to figure out why. I don't be believing you just keep getting duped. It's like you got to be grown and stop making bad decisions. Yes, you can get duped sometimes, but you ain't gonna just keep getting duped, nigga.
Right.
He said he was gonna leave his wife.
When things have
Get out of
become
here.
a pattern, like Sydney said, it's time for you to go look in the mirror. When it's a pattern, it's you. It's ridiculous. And ain't nobody feeling sorry for you or blaming you. Still sharing the same memes, like he said. Niggas ain't shit. You're old. It's not niggas ain't shit.
And all the good men that read your little posts are probably don't even want to deal with you.
No.
Because
you know what? When I see on social, when I see female friends on social media when they put their quick little sentences about you can't talk to me and so, that energy is being read by the world.
Right.
And your possible man is like, well, she go hardcore on Twitter with her "do not holler at me if you don't have A, B, C, and D," and that's not the energy I'm assuming you should want if you
Because
want.
here's the thing. We know men aren't stupid either. I mean, we are to a certain extent, but
Not really. I don't think you are.
we know we're outnumbered, right? So dudes who have it together know he has to pick of the litter. So he's not going to deal with your bullshit because he doesn't have to.
Say it
He
again,
doesn't
Keon, one more
have to
time.
because he's
Say it
winning.
again. Say it again.
So
Oh, Jesus.
dudes who are winning are not dealing with none of that because I don't have to. I'm outnumbered out here 3-1. I have my choices. I know I'm at the top. I'm not dealing with nothing. I don't have to. So why when they put that energy out there, they think they that special, and you like, yo, but I'm a smaller percentage. A good dude is a very small percentage. So it's like, yo, I don't have to deal with none of this dumb shit.
And you have to do inventory. And if the man you say you want in your head, if he met you, would he want to be around you? If you give off, I don't need no man for nothing, all dudes are dogs, whatever your energy is, with the man that you really want, who's successful, who just want to come home to somebody who's peaceful, really want to be with you?
Yep. A lot of people gotta admit they represent chaos. And why would I
Man,
want to just be in love with chaos? Why would I want to be in love? Because you think if sometimes I think people think if they're pretty that it's okay for some of these things to slide. And listen, Tony Rock told me something so clean one day, dog. I had to be like 27. He said, "It's LA. You could take a rock and throw it outside and hit a pretty woman. Like you got like what you got to offer." And people sometimes think, well, and they'll be lazy and a lot of stuff besides their physical appearance. And then boom, it's like you represent chaos. Why I want to sit there and argue with you every day? I could tell us what I'm gonna do. For what? For what? Because you got for what? Get out of here.
Is this a Los Angeles thing, or would you say your hometown
nah,
girls are
it's
the
it's
same
just a
way?
thing. Like
Just period.
girls who they just think they don't have to do shit, and a dude that's worth something be like, no, you have to do some shit because I don't have to deal with this.
I have
Like there's
all this.
somebody
I'm giving up all this for
right.
you.
I
Why
don't.
would
I
I give
don't.
up all this for somebody who's gonna? I
Yeah.
got to prove myself, prove my love, and manage your fears. And I have everything I need already. Why would I commit to you?
You can't be insecure when a man's asking you to be accountable. And it's not that you can't hold him accountable as well, because that's what growth is. It's two people to me holding each other accountable and growing and keep growing. But if you look at it as an attack, then you really that's a you thing. You got to work on that. You know, especially if you're single, it's like you really got to work on how you receive criticism from people that love you. You know what I mean? And you gotta tell maybe people that you dating, hey, I can't deal with that right now because some nigga might think, hey, I'm trying to speak life into you, or and you get sensitive and just be like, oh, well, all right, cool, all right,
All
cool, cool, cool.
righty. Any final thoughts? I
He
feel
was
so
like,
I
heavy.
got be the plant where you put water in it that it blossoms. Don't be the cactus. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Do you think? Okay, last question. Do you think it's realistic, or it makes sense when a woman's like her standards kind of get lower the older she gets? Is that silly to be like? I mean, there's always a very common joke we've all heard. The older she gets, that lists need to get shorter and shorter. But isn't that? Is there any truth to that? That it should get
Jackie,
a little bit
hold your
shorter?
standards to what they are. They are good men in your age range and group. Continue working on yourself and don't be like, because I'm a certain age, okay, the nigga can like hit me with his left hand. Like, no, nigga, you still gotta hold the same criteria you want in your life. You
Yes,
still
right.
want a
And I think
peaceful, loving situation, and that comes in any age.
right.
true.
And I think that goes back to the patience thing and being okay being single. You can have all the standards in the world. I remember when I was single and people was like, nigga, you think you this and you ain't gonna get all the stuff you want. And I did. Because
Right.
I wasn't gonna settle for anything else. And that's okay. It's okay to be like, this is what I want. And I'm now also being realistic and understanding that your whole little list, finding that imperfection, that's just stupid. That's unrealistic. I remember the dopest thing my dad ever told me when I was dating and out there, he was like, bro, you gotta chill because what you're gonna do is you're gonna take all these different things from these different women that you mess with, and then one day you're going to want to settle down, and you're going to take all these things and try to form this perfect woman, and she doesn't exist. That's not a realistic thing. There's no such thing as a perfect person. So you can have your standards, but some people are so into the standards like that they like, well, you didn't have a blue BMW, you have a red one. It's like, nigga, relax. And then, but then you have the other ones that'd be like, I don't even need a car, and they lower it too much. So like, you can go for what you want. It doesn't have to be exact, but you can still get it and have the patience to wait for the majority of things you want. Like,
and I feel like you can have what you want to, but I feel like God give you what you need. So all that stuff on your list is cute, but start with a man who show up for you. Start with a man who actually show up for you. Like that's a good starting point. If he's like, I feel like women get hit on all the time, but they don't count the man under 5'7". They don't count them niggas. This nigga show up, offering dates, planning dates. Nah, you don't want him. You want the nigga that's unattainable that wouldn't want you anyway.
Facts.
And I think, listen, man, I think if you're like single and like in your 30s, man, maybe upper 30s, whatever, like it don't mean something wrong with you. You know what I mean? It don't mean that like, it don't mean you like gotta think, do I gotta change? Nah, man. You're amazing. You could be amazing. You know what I mean?
You're surprised how many female comics I've seen post like, I'm gonna go ahead and get this new booty. Because that's what that's what's killing it out here in these streets.
That's why you gotta stay away from social media, like I said.
Yeah.
Sorry, you'll be in the vibe of bullshit. I'm joking though. You'll be in the vibe of bullshit because in your head you think, oh man, I think that's never mind. I think that's silly. You feel me? Like that's why you gotta get that's toxic. It's like when I was younger. Yeah, when I was younger, I used to listen to a lot of rap music. And I paused just for myself because it would make me want to like be silly, you know what I mean? So I just paused, then I matured and like I can entertain this like entertainment, you know what I mean? If you can't handle social media where it's like it gets in here, you start, then you gotta.
Yeah.
But anything you feed yourself too much of is going to be a thing. Like a lot of women be like, I only watch reality TV for entertainment. No, you keep feeding the bullshit and these women acting crazy and these fight. Eventually, you're going to be like, yeah, that's cool. That's what you can't keep taking in certain stuff. Like as a married man, right? Like people say it's okay to just be like double tapping booties or whatever, or watching porn or whatever. You can dabble maybe, but if you keep feeding that, it's going to become a problem.
You got to manage your appetite.
Feeding yourself that. And a lot of women feed themselves a lot of BS, like Sydney said, the memes and the stupid stuff and reality TV, and they just keep feeding themselves that, and it messes you up. You can't just keep taking that in. You can do it maybe a little bit, but you can't just keep taking that and then, like he said, be in this world of bullshit, and now you don't know how to function in normalcy because you're here. It's like stop feeding yourself that stuff so much. It's not just entertainment. That stuff messes with you.
I feel like the
women online.
What?
Go ahead. Stop following depressed women online. Stop following depressed people. You follow depressed people, you get depressed tweets. You get a depressed point of view. It don't matter how many, and it gets in your system like, oh, I do agree with that. Oh, they do make a good point, and it ain't got nothing to do with your life. Ain't no man ever do shit.
Right.
That experience never happened to you. Like, well, men do that. Black men do. That's never even happened to you. You never even seen
right.
That.
Yeah.
Right.
What are you gonna say, Ron?
The positive side about all we're talking about, because I know it may be overwhelming to women that's watching this. I got to be accountable. I got to be an adult. I got to.
Yeah, my head is. I got a headache too. I'm like, God, there's a lot to do.
You ain't got. It's just called being an adult. You got to stand at your full height and not date out of lack. Like I dated a girl one time, and I was scared she would leave me, so I overcompensated to make sure she was happy, and she wasn't a happy person. And I wound up in therapy trying to make her happy, and she wasn't happy. The saving grace about all this conversation is, we only need one. You can't say what all men do. All you need is one man to show up for you. When some older gentleman gave me some advice, he said, I was like, yo, I feel like women don't like sensitive guys. Like, it's crazy. Like, because again, I make money off being sensitive. The way I write, when you see me perform, you've been there before, no matter who you are. And he said, it doesn't matter what women think. You just need one. You need one woman who get and value who you are. That's it. You just need one good man who show up for you and get how you are. That's all you need. Don't worry about what all men do with all black men. Like, no, it's not true. Because every individual couple, every different man brings out a certain side of you, whether it's good or bad. Every two mixes of people will bring out a different side of you. I've been with cool girls who like still just made me feel unmotivated. I've been with bad chicks who be like, yo, you like every man you with will bring out a different side of you. Find somebody who motivates you, make you a better version of yourself, and then show up for you. All you need is one. Don't worry about what all men do.
Y'all worry about the wrong thing. I said the woman wrote my joke down. Y'all be trying to do all this other shit. It was something simple that was in tune with what I liked. God damn it.
All right, I'm gonna sign off. Thank you guys so much. I kind of feel like I want to cry. I'm not
Like
really.
she need a nap. Jackie, like she need a nap.
Jackie
It's over here. It was up here when we started. Now it's over here.
Yeah.
We gonna call later. We just gonna see her on Instagram Live just smoking a cigarette. Like, you know what, man?
There's gonna be the LeBron James pick with Jackie Fabulous face.
This is a lot. This is a lot.
I had a lot going on. It was a rough evening, guys. It was really rough. I don't know how I'm going to handle this.
I knew it was gonna be. I knew it was gonna be a lot. I always tell girls, I'm like, you have to have a platonic man in your life that you've never been intimate with to give you advice. And a lot of women, they don't have guy friends that will be like, no, what should I do? And have a guy friend be like, nothing. He leave that guy alone. You know, that kind of thing.
But are you gonna listen to him is the question, though.
Yeah, I do.
So I'm gonna say this. I forgot to say this. Don't be the fuck buddy so long you don't know how to be in a relationship. Okay, guys. All right.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. I love you. I'll do this some more other topics, but I really want to hear what men I look up to think, and not the men who just want to smash and run. So thank you.
Get me up for these shirts, guys.
Yes.
Hey.
Good night, my loves.
Later.
Thank you guys for watching. Follow